It's your man JGR report, and welcome to the College Football Weekly Wrap-Up, Week 13. Y'all know how we get it in, so let's get it in. Wrapping up the top 5 ball games of the weekend, so let's get right to it. Now, we got number 25, Minnesota, goes out to Lincoln to play the number 23 Nebraska Cornhuskers. Now, like I said in the preview, Minnesota wins this ball game 28-24. Hey, I thought that Evan Cobb was going to go out here and go to work on these boys. He was purring like a kitten before this ball game because Nebraska giving up 408 yards the week before to Melvin Gordon. This cat got hurt in this ball game, only had 15 carries, 80 yards, but they still went to work, beat these boys, ended a 20-game losing streak against top 25 opponents. Now, they can win the Big Ten West with a win on the road next week against Wisconsin. That ain't gonna happen, bro. You might well be happy with the 8-3 record you got right now, because it ain't gonna happen. Now, they almost lost this ball game. At the end of the ball game, you got 1:19 left, and DeMarne Pearson-L gets stripped at the 2-yard line. First of all, here go the problem, bro. Here's the problem. DeMarne Pearson-L got too many syllables in his name, bro. You can't trust the boy with all them syllables in his name with the ball in his hand. At the end of the game, you should have gave the ball to somebody like Sam Jones or something like that. Hey, let's move on to the next ball game. Now, we got number 12, Kansas State, goes out to Morgantown to play West Virginia. Now, Kansas State wins this ball game like I said they would in the preview, 26-20. Jake Waters goes to work on these boys. Had more than 400 yards and a touchdown. He threw a dub pick, but he was all right. The good thing is these boys rebounded from getting blasted by TCU a week ago. Now it's a 3-way tie in the Big 12. You got Kansas State, TCU, and Baylor all knotted up. 3-way tie. It's going to come down to the last week of the Big 12. Clint Trickett got held in check this weekend. He only had 112 yards. And he threw 2 dub picks. Now, here's the problem. Old 147-year-old Bill Snyder's upset this morning because they carried the ball 29 times for 1 yard. Then they had 10 penalties for 102 yards. But the major problem in this ball game was Bill Snyder's pager kept going off. This Dunn is so old, he's still walking around with his sky pager on, bro. And it keep going off because the Dunn's battery is low. That's why it keep going off. But he's upset because he can't concentrate on the ball game. Let's move on to the next ball game. Now, we got number 24. Louisville goes out to South Bend to play Notre Dame. Now, Louisville wins this ball game, barely escapes 31-28. I picked Notre Dame to win this game because I figured with Louisville starting quarterback out, they would be dubbed. But Reggie Bonifant came in, put in work, put in 180 yards, a touchdown, threw a dub pick. But what they did was line up against Notre Dame and run it down their throat. They had 229 yards of rushing yards in this ball game. Brandon Radcliffe put up 136, and then Michael Dyer put up another 61. They went to work on these boys. Hey, now keep this real. Everett Golson wasn't so dull this weekend. He had 236. 2 touchdowns, he threw a dub pick, but the major problem in this ball game was the field goal game. Kyle Brinzer missed a 32-yard field goal. Now, this was the problem. The dull equipment man get out here and get the shoes mixed up. So he ran out there with the leprechaun's pointed toe shoes. Wow, and missed the doggone field goal because he got the wrong shoes on, bruh. Notre Dame is so dumb, but I'm just going to tell you, duh. Let's move on to the next ball game. Now, we got number 15, Arizona beats the brakes off number 17, Utah, 42-10. Like I told you in the preview, it wasn't going to even be close, but Rich Rodriguez pulled a genius move this week. He had the boys practicing 6 o'clock in the morning under the sprinklers because he knew it was going to be a downpour out in Utah. So the freshman, Nick Wilson, goes to work, puts in 218 yards and 3 touchdowns on these boys. This is the first time that Arizona has reached 9 wins since 1998. Now, nobody else want to know anything about Duh, Arizona. So let's move on to the next ball game. Now, here we go. We got number 15, USC gets beat at UCLA 38-20. I mean, got the brakes beat off of them this weekend. Brett Hundley goes out here and go to work on these boys. He had 326 yards, 3 touchdowns, threw a dub pick, but that was okay. Hey, they won 3 ball games in a row. Brett Hundley has never lost to UCLA. They scored all 38 points in the first 30 minutes of the ball game. The defense held USC to 200 yards and 7 points in the first 3 quarters of this ball game. So on some real talk, they beat the brakes off USC. But what I really want to talk about, bruh, is the smoke break that the SEC took this weekend. The SEC, think about this. Alabama goes out and struggles in the first half against Western Carolina. And everybody on TV, radio, last night and this morning is talking about how Ohio State struggled with Indiana for 3 quarters. But nobody saw Alabama struggle with Western Carolina. Let's move on to the next ball game. Then we got Georgia. Goes and find Charleston Southern to play. Like I said, that sounds like a pack of cigarettes, bro. You know how Big Mama used to send you to the store and say, I need you to get me a pack of Charleston Southern and bring my change back, bro. Bring my change back. Hey, then you got South Carolina went found South Alabama. Auburn went found Sanford. I'm just saying, if everybody's playing tough ball games in week 13 of the season, then all of a sudden these does take a smoke break. It's not good for the game, bro. I'm just saying. It's your man Jay Graves Report from the JGravesReport.com, or you can hit me up on Twitter at JGravesReport so you can holler at your boy.